Welcome to the channel, everyone. I hope y'all are having a great day. So are you thinking of purchasing a new or used vehicle this season? With today's modern vehicles come some awesome features. These features weren't even thought of 15 or even 20 years ago. There are plenty of features out there that offer increased safety, better fuel efficiency, and plenty of tech to satisfy the nerds in just about all of us. However, there are plenty of modern features that can be harmful to your car and your wallet. In this video, we're going to look at the top 10 features in today's modern vehicles that, quite frankly, I don't know, at times are kind of more destructive than helpful. In fact, the number one item on this list, and I can't even believe that manufacturers install it in their vehicles, this can completely destroy your car's engine, leaving you with a mountain of bills. So let's get right into it. So coming in at number 10 is the Tire Mobility Kit. You may have noticed that there's no spare tire in your car. Just this package with a can of slime and a simple battery-operated air pump. Now this is supposed to take the place of a spare tire. The objective is for that goo, that slime, to seal the puncture in your tire so you can safely drive it home or possibly to the next service station to get it repaired. The problem with this is it doesn't work. It just simply doesn't work more than half the time. It only works on small punctures less than 4 centimeters in diameter, and only on the tread part of the tire. If there's a larger puncture, it's not going to seal. If the sidewall is punctured, it probably won't seal. And of course, it's totally useless if you have a blowout on the highway. And to top it all off, the shelf life of this is only about 2 years if you're lucky. And to replace it, it's going to cost you between $45 and $65. And if you do need to use it, just be aware it could ruin the TPMS in your wheel. Manufacturers say this tire repair system saves weight, saves fuel, and allows more interior space. Now I say invest in a spare, even if it's a donut. It can save you time, frustration, and a call to your local towing company. At number 9, run flat tires. Seems like a great idea. You can run over an object, it punctures the tire. But don't worry, you have run flats. The tire won't run flat. Simply drive the car without worrying. Don't worry about changing your tire or being delayed for your next appointment. Your run flats will get you there. This all sounds great until you have to replace each of the tires. That could cost you between $200 and $500 depending on the size and brand. Now these tires are also much heavier and more rigid, making for a bit harsher ride and putting additional stress on your car's suspension. It also adds substantial reduction in fuel efficiency, costing you more money in the end. The solution: if your car is equipped with run flat tires, you really need to change to regular tires at the end of their life. And trust me, your wallet will thank you. At number 8, active grille shutters. Just be aware if your vehicle has these. Active grille shutters are designed to allow more airflow to your radiator for cooling the engine when needed, and less airflow during cold weather or first starting the car. Now the design seems smart, doesn't it? Simply allow the engine to heat up faster by blocking the outside air, causing quicker warm-up time for both passenger and car. Also increasing the fuel efficiency. Now once the engine is up to operating temperature, the shutters will automatically open, allowing for a full cooling to take effect. The problem with this new tech is the shutters, if they don't work for some reason, maybe road debris was caught in there, snow or ice buildup, or possibly broken linkage or the failure of that little electrical motor controlling the shutters, the vehicle can overheat, causing a breakdown at the most inopportune time. Now, understandably, checking your vehicle's shutters may not be at the top of your list, but before you drive, it's pretty important to give them a once-over. Check them once in a while from time to time. Make sure the shutters are working properly, the linkage is working properly, everything is clear, especially during the winter months when ice and snow can wreak havoc on its operation. At number 7, panoramic roof. A glass panoramic roof is beautiful. It allows natural light for your car's interior. Check out all the scenery, of course, if you're the passenger. The panoramic glass roof is a statement for a luxury vehicle. Not so fast, folks. This glass roof, especially if it doesn't have a sunshade, could fade and ruin the interior within 4 to 5 short years. Yep, even though the glass is supposed to block UV light, it still allows the interior of the vehicle to heat up rapidly. It actually heats up about 30% more than a vehicle without a glass roof. During a summer day, the interior of a car with a glass roof has reached in excess of 150 degrees Fahrenheit. Ongoing exposure to that intense heat is going to eventually break down some of the interior. It will also delaminate interior parts and warp surfaces. The air conditioner is also going to have to work extra hard to sufficiently cool that passenger space. Also, glass roof structures are extremely heavy. This can raise the vehicle's center of gravity, creating more of a lesser stable ride. Now, this may not be too noticeable in all vehicles, but if you drive a taller SUV with one of those big old monster panoramic glass sunroofs, believe me, you're going to definitely notice some body roll when cornering and less stability. So how do we protect the interior? Well, according to some people who live in warmer climates, they say they're going to park their cars in parking garage whenever possible. They're going to use their at-home garage. They're going to crack their windows, and some owners have even covered the glass roof knowing that the car is going to be in the sun for an extended period of time. Number 6, auto-sensing lock and unlock. Also, phone apps. Now, this was typically a feature in luxury vehicles like Mercedes and BMW, but over the past few years, this technology has become very common amongst all car manufacturers. Now, what a great feature. As you approach the vehicle, it senses when you're close, it picks up that key fob, unlocks the door. When you leave, the car locks itself. You don't have to worry about fumbling for a key fob, a digital key, anything like that. And if you do forget your key fob, no worries. The digital key on your phone is going to work just fine. It's just the same. It's smarter, easier, and more convenient. Heck, there's no harm in making things easier, right? Wrong. In order for the auto lock and unlock to work, your vehicle is continuously searching for that key fob or that electrical device like your digital key. When it senses you're near enough, the car performs the unlock function. So what's the problem? The problem is your car is using battery power without recharging. We call this phantom power or phantom drain on the battery. It's when the car is using power and it's not on. Now, all automobiles have a bit of phantom drain, and it's usually measured in milliamps. So before the introduction of advanced technology, the average car would draw approximately 10 to 15 milliamps, just enough to power the clock on your dashboard. Now, with all the tech, including auto lock and unlock, this will wake up your car's electrical system by using an app on your phone. Yeah, that's right. Every time you use that application to check in on your car, it wakes up the vehicle's electrical system, thus using more battery power. Now, the average modern car can draw between 50 to 85 milliamps of phantom power. This, folks, can cause unexpected battery drain, leaving you with no power to start your car. In fact, it's well known amongst the auto industry. In fact, the Hyundai company had problems with their Ioniq 5 and some Kia models. They're well known for premature battery drain. A memo from Hyundai addressed this issue and advised its customers not to repeatedly use the phone app to communicate with the vehicle, as this wakes up the entire electrical system. So simply be aware and be prepared. If leaving your car for an extended period of time, like maybe at an airport, you may want to bring a jumper box with you just in case. Also, it's imperative to check your battery maybe 2 to 3 times a year. Just remember, you may have to change that 12-volt battery a little bit more frequently. Number 5, smaller engines with turbo. Now, manufacturers are trying to meet these government EPA demands using a smaller engine. Now, it's an obvious choice to save fuel, right? However, smaller engines produce less power, and less power may not be suitable for the driver or the needs of the vehicle, such as towing, hauling, or getting up to speed in a timely fashion. So to meet the power demands that the car needs, automakers will install a turbocharger on the engine, boosting its overall power. Now, a turbo works by using exhaust gases to spin an impeller at incredible speeds. This forces pressurized air into the combustion chamber, causing a more explosive force, creating, of course, more power from the engine. Now, this seems to be the best of both worlds. Get more power and more fuel efficiency. It's a win-win, right? Well, it's not all pretty in turbo land. Not only will a turbo create more power, but it will also create more heat. The extra power will also put more stress on a much smaller engine. The turbo is an amazing feat of engineering, but spinning at such incredible speeds, a turbo, if not maintained and fail, can cost you up to $2,000 or more to replace. Now, if your car has a turbo mounted to a 1 or 2 liter engine, or even a smaller engine, here's a few tips. Make sure the oil is changed regularly. Have your mechanic check the cooling system on your turbocharger, and avoid driving your car too hard all of the time. You not only want to avoid replacing your turbo, but you want your engine to last at least over 100,000 miles as well, don't you? Coming in at number 4, automatic updates. Yep, that's right. Just like all your personal electronics, your car's computer has the ability for automatic updates. Now, while these updates are important, the actual update process may wreak havoc on your vehicle's computer system. Let me explain. Now, there are times when the signal is lost in the middle of an update. There could be, a low battery, driver input that impacts the completion of the update, or perhaps even a weak internet signal. This can lead from an infotainment blackout to a complete failure of your car's systems, leading to a trip to your local dealership. They're going to have to either reprogram or replace your vehicle's computer, possibly costing you hundreds of dollars and at least 1 to 3 days without your car. To avoid this problem, if possible, turn off automatic updates. Manually update your system when there's a strong signal, a fully charged battery, and of course, when your vehicle is not in use. It's extremely important not to lose the update connection. Now, the top 3 remaining modern features can cause actual damage to your car's engine, costing you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, and in my opinion, shouldn't even exist on vehicles. So with that, at number 3, the electric water pump. Yep, this is a classic case of older is better. The good old belt-driven water pump has been around forever. It's very simple, very efficient, and an easy way to circulate coolant, maintaining your car's engine temperature. But unfortunately, just like any other component, water pumps are gonna fail. But the good old belt-driven water pump, it's usually not critical when it fails. There's gonna be some signs that replacement is necessary, usually. Now, some of these symptoms could be a squeaking sound because of worn out bearings, or possibly you may notice a small leak coming out of the pump, or you may notice a little bit of water on the ground because the pump actually has a broken seal. And just because you see a little bit of water, it's not detrimental. You can still have plenty of time to get your car home or to a dealership. So, the electric water pump, what was it designed to do? It was designed to heat up the engine to operating temperature more quickly, increasing its efficiency, and, of course, costing less money in fuel, creating a warmer cabin much quicker. However, with that electric water pump, unfortunately, there's no indication it's going to fail. There's no leaking, there's no squeaking, absolutely no indication of failure at all. When it goes, whether you're at a shopping mall, on the highway, in traffic, or at work. The only way you're going to know if something is wrong with your water pump is when your vehicle's temperature gauge spikes, or unfortunately the engine overheats. And if you don't shut down your vehicle immediately, there could be serious damage to your car's engine, costing you thousands of dollars. A failed electric water pump equals an immediate call for a tow. Now, vehicles that have this electric water pump are Audi, BMW, Ford, Mercedes, Porsche, and Toyota. They all use this technology, so just be aware. Now, there's no way to prevent a complete failure of an electric water pump. You just have to be aware when it happens and don't drive the vehicle. At number 2, the automatic start-stop. Now, this was intended to have the car turn off at idle to save fuel. While this feature does save a bit of fuel, it can cost you way more money in repairs than it saves you on gas. Now, in Mechanics 101, that teaches the most vulnerable time for engine wear is at startup, when most of the oil has moved to the oil pan, leaving lubricated parts with a very little coating of oil. Now, this is the main reason why we let our cars warm up. Warming up the vehicle gives the oil time to properly circulate and coat critical engine parts, leading to less wear. So why is it now okay to continuously start your engine at every stop sign, every light, or while stopped in traffic? Why is that okay? It's not. Also, the starter motor in your vehicle is designed for starting your engine a certain amount of times before needing replaced. So if your starter is designed to crank over your engine an average of, 8 times per day, for 10 years that's nearly 30,000 starts. With a start-stop feature, expect a new starter maybe between every 4 to 6 years. And oh, by the way, Better add on a new 12-volt battery for that as well. That can cost you an extra couple $100 in repairs, not to mention the increased wear and tear on your car's starter motor and engine. So the best thing you can do is, if possible, turn this feature off. It's not good for your car. In fact, there's actually an aftermarket device sold. It's called, I think it's called a start-stop disabler. And this plugs into your car's wiring system, permanently disabling this feature. And finally, the absolute worst bit of updated technology that can completely grenade your car's engine, putting it on a flatbed for a one-way ride to the scrapyard, is at number 1. It's the wet belt. A wet belt is a grooved belt used in place of a traditional timing chain. The belt is also lubricated using your vehicle's oiling system. While timing belts have been used for quite a while, the wet belt, or oiled covered belt, promised less wear, more efficiency, and less maintenance. Turns out this is a complete load of crap. It's completely wrong, and it is an epic failure. The problem is, like with every moving part, the belt will eventually wear and break, and it's gonna need replaced. Now, I'm sure most of us have seen a worn out belt or have been told by our mechanic that our belt needs changed. You know, the one we can see, the one that kind of turns in front of us and powers the air conditioning compressor, alternator, and other components, that kind of belt. Well, since a timing belt cannot be seen because it's internal, there is actually no way to see if a replacement is necessary. We have to kind of rely on the manufacturer's suggested replacement intervals, which I'm sorry to say is not perfect. So with a traditional timing belt, if it did fail, yes, I'm sorry, your car would lose the use of its engine. You're definitely going to need a tow truck and have that belt replaced. Not ideal. But the car's engine most likely would not be completely destroyed. With the idea of a belt being in contact with the car's complex oil system, the wearing of a wet belt is going to produce little bits and pieces of debris. That mixes with the oil, causing a blockage of the oiling system to critical parts. It'll also cause a massive buildup of sludge in the engine, and finally causing a complete failure. The only solution is to replace that engine with a completely new one. There is no fixing that amount of damage. And that's all because of a worn out belt. So what's the best thing to do? Well, first, you can stay away from any vehicle that uses the wet belt system, especially used vehicles. You don't know how they were driven or if they were even replaced. Now, these vehicles include Fords with the EcoBoost system, some Stellantis vehicles, Peugeot, some Volkswagen cars, and yes, even some Toyota products have a wet belt. Now, if you already have a vehicle with a wet belt, I'm sorry. No, but really, if you do, the best thing you can do is to change that belt every, 50 to 60,000 miles. And have your mechanic check the oil and the filter during every single oil change. Have them look for any indication of belt debris. Yes, it's gonna cost you a bit more money, but it's better than the alternative. Well, folks, that's my top 10 list of things and features that shouldn't be in your car. If you have something to add, please add it in the comment, or if you think something is wrong, put that in the comment as well. And as always, folks, thank you for watching and have a fantastic day.